Iconic car brands that once ruled American roads are now fighting for survival. Behind their glossy commercials and desperate dealer incentives lies a brutal truth. Several major manufacturers are closer to disappearing than anyone's willing to admit. These aren't just sales slumps. They're existential crises threatening brands your parents grew up trusting. What's truly alarming isn't just plummeting sales figures, it's the catastrophic reliability issues, financial meltdowns, and corporate denial pushing these once proud nameplates to the edge. From transmissions that fail before 100,000 miles to interiors that literally melt in summer heat, these aren't just bad cars. They're engineering disasters and financial traps rolled into one. Most shocking of all, some of these brands still command premium prices while delivering experiences so terrible that owners are abandoning them in record numbers. One luxury manufacturer saw sales collapse by 82% since 2020, while another American icon is plagued by a steering defect so dangerous it triggered 5 federal investigations. "I spent $68,000 on what I thought was my dream car," says Michael, a Jaguar F-Pace owner from Ohio. "2 years later, the glue is literally seeping from my steering wheel, the electronics randomly fail, and my dealer says these are normal characteristics. I'll never make this mistake again." What mainstream automotive media won't tell you is that these failures aren't random quality issues. They're symptoms of fundamental corporate rot that's been spreading for years. Internal documents from 3 major manufacturers reveal systematic cost-cutting that prioritize short-term profits over the engineering integrity that built their reputations. Even more disturbing, several brands on the brink are actively hiding their financial reality from consumers. One luxury manufacturer's sales have collapsed so dramatically that they're shipping unsold inventory to remote storage facilities to hide the true scale of their market rejection. Another American icon is quietly closing dealerships while publicly claiming strategic market realignment. But perhaps most shocking is how the industry's push toward technology has accelerated these failures rather than fixed them. Cars packed with sensors, screens, and software are proving catastrophically unreliable, turning modern vehicles into ticking financial time bombs that often fail just after warranty coverage expires. Which car brands are on the brink of extinction, and what specific engineering disasters are driving their collapse? To answer this question definitively, we've analyzed reliability databases, owner complaints, and repair records that most consumers never see, revealing the ugly truth about brands that continue marketing reliability while delivering mechanical nightmares. This isn't speculation or clickbait, it's based on hard data about failure rates, repair costs, and the financial reality these manufacturers face as customers abandon them. Let's examine the 11 car brands fighting for survival and the specific models driving their collapse. Nissan, from everywhere to nowhere. Once synonymous with affordable Japanese reliability, Nissan has decayed into a shell of its former self. Their decline isn't about a single model, but a systematic surrender of the quality and trust that once defined their brand. The transmission nightmare. Nissan's CVT, continuously variable transmission, has become perhaps the most hated drivetrain component on American roads. Once marketed as revolutionary technology that would enhance fuel efficiency, it's now notorious for catastrophic failures that strand owners and drain bank accounts. The Rogue, once a top-selling compact SUV, exemplifies this disaster. Owners routinely report transmission jerking, slipping, and complete failure, often before reaching 100,000 miles. Replacement costs range from $3,500 to $8,000, assuming dealerships can even locate parts given ongoing supply chain issues. The Altima shares this cursed fate with devastating consistency. Across the 2015 to 2020 model years, identical transmission problems plague a sedan that once competed with the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. Camshaft sensor failures, intake gasket leaks, and failing catalytic converters complete the Altima's miserable reliability resume. Nissan's Frontier pickup completes the trifecta of disappointment. The 2018 to 2021 models have been repeatedly criticized for unresponsive steering, an outdated interior, and ride quality that feels like punishment rather than transportation. Despite its rugged styling, the Frontier has been left in the dust by more refined competitors like the Toyota Tacoma. The financial impact of these engineering failures has been catastrophic. Nissan recently faced near bankruptcy in Japan, with profit losses reaching 99% compared to previous years, an alarming collapse that shocked the automotive industry and cast serious doubt on the company's long-term survival prospects. For consumers, the message is clear. Nissan's decline represents what happens when a once-respected manufacturer chooses cost-cutting over quality, transforming reliable transportation into expensive gambles that leave owners stranded and financially devastated. Jaguar, the expensive headache. Jaguar's vehicles enter the room with undeniable charisma, sleek lines, muscular stance, and that unmistakable British badge promising sophistication and prestige. What they deliver instead is mechanical chaos that transforms luxury ownership into an endless cycle of dealership visits, when luxury literally melts. The F-Pace SUV exemplifies Jaguar's catastrophic quality issues. Models built between 2016 and 2020 have become infamous across owner forums for problems that defy belief in premium vehicles. The infotainment system freezes during navigation, making even basic routes challenging. The stop-start function misfires in hot weather, creating dangerous hesitation in traffic. Most shocking of all, the interior literally melts during summer months, with drivers reporting glue seeping from steering wheels and dashboards, a disgusting reminder that some luxury touches are only skin deep. Squeaks and rattles infiltrate the cabin like a broken symphony. As premium materials lose their integrity, doors, dashboards, and suspension components lose harmony and fall apart with alarming frequency. These aren't just occasional issues, they're systematic quality failures that make ownership an expensive burden. The mechanical issues prove even worse than the cosmetic disasters. Transmission glitches emerge early in ownership cycles. Oil leaks soon follow. Sensors fail at alarming rates throughout all vehicle systems. One repair visit leads to another, then another. Over a 5-year period, the average Jaguar F-Pace racks up over $13,000 in repair bills beyond routine maintenance. J.D. Power responded by slapping Jaguar with below-average reliability ratings across nearly all categories. For luxury buyers who expect excellence, these ratings represent deal breakers that have decimated sales. Global deliveries plummeted to just 33,000 units in 2024, an 82% decrease from previous peaks that raises serious questions about the brand's future viability. Jaguar represents the ultimate luxury trap. Vehicles that look and feel premium during the test drive but quickly devolve into expensive headaches that consume both time and money while delivering none of the prestige that justified their premium price tags. Jeep, America's off-road lie. Jeep invented the sport utility vehicle concept, then weaponized nostalgia to sell mechanically compromised vehicles to customers who thought they were purchasing automotive history. What buyers received instead was an expensive education in systematic engineering failure wrapped in heritage marketing. The deadly wobble. The Wrangler, the vehicle that should represent Jeep's engineering pinnacle, has become a case study in compromised safety and reliability. Third-generation models, 2007 to 2018, delivered more recalls than reliable road trips, with problems so severe they threatened both finances and lives. Electrical bugs plagued owners from the moment they drove off dealer lots. Brake systems failed without warning. Steering systems became so loose that drivers described them as suggestions rather than commands. Most alarming was the infamous death wobble that affected thousands of Jeeps, particularly the 2017 Wrangler. This terrifying vibration, which makes highway driving feel like riding a jackhammer, triggered 5 federal investigations and over 1,500 consumer complaints. The 2018 model, heavily marketed as the best iteration yet, suffered 12 separate recalls, serving as a grim reminder that iconic styling couldn't fix fundamental engineering incompetence. Even basic comfort falls apart under scrutiny. The seats remain stiff and unsupportive. Cabin space feels cramped despite external dimensions. The suspension bounces over city streets like a poorly tuned trampoline, making routine driving feel like punishment rather than transportation. The Grand Cherokee fares no better, with premature brake wear, glitchy power steering, and the nightmare component known as the Totally Integrated Power Module. TIPM. These modules frequently cause no-start conditions, random stalling, and complete electrical shutdowns, all without warning signs. Replacement costs run into thousands of dollars, transforming what should be reliable family transportation into financial roulette. Industry surveys reveal the devastating truth. Only 25% of Wrangler owners believe their vehicle will reach 200,000 miles, a catastrophic statistic for a brand that sells longevity and ruggedness as core values. For a company that markets its heritage as military-grade transportation, the modern reality is vehicles that struggle to survive suburban commutes. Volkswagen. Engineering or illusion? German engineering once stood as a global benchmark for quality. Overbuilt components, mechanical elegance, and vehicles engineered to last generations. For Volkswagen owners today, that reputation has collapsed into dashboard chaos, mystery noises, and breakdowns that feel almost intentional. When precision fails. The Jetta, once an icon for affordable European performance in America, now carries warning labels in buyer forums and ownership surveys. The 2019 model marked a visible shift toward compromised reliability, with quality scores collapsing to just 1 out of 5 stars in multiple reliability ratings. Owners immediately pointed to fundamentally flawed transmission systems that stumbled through gear shifts with hesitation, jerks, and grinding noises. Especially problematic in the ironically named Eco mode. Dealerships initially dismissed these complaints as normal characteristics, but when normal operation sounds like mechanical sabotage, consumer trust quickly evaporates. The problems only deepen with ownership time. Jettas have been plagued with head gasket failures leading to coolant leaks, overheating, and engine damage costing thousands to repair. These aren't high-mileage problems. Many breakdowns occur in the first 60,000 miles when owners expect trouble-free operation. Scale up those problems to the Volkswagen Atlas. Marketed as the ultimate family SUV. Engine issues begin with connecting rod bearings, small components that carry the full force of the engine's power stroke. When they fail, the results are catastrophic. Drivers report horrifying stalls in traffic and total engine seizure that transforms family transportation into expensive paperweights. Meanwhile, brake master cylinders have caused total brake failure without warning, an especially terrifying prospect in vehicles designed to transport children. The worst part? You don't know disaster is approaching until it strikes. Electrical systems add another layer of frustration. Infotainment crashes, ghost alerts, and malfunctioning reverse cameras turn basic driving into stress-inducing gambles. For a brand that built its reputation on reliability and precision, the modern ownership experience represents an expensive illusion that collapses the moment real-world driving begins. Audi. Prestige in pieces. Audi doesn't just sell vehicles, they market status and social positioning. The Q5 promises luxury refinement, German performance, and engineering precision packaged in one polished experience. But the more time owners spend behind the wheel, the more that carefully crafted image unravels into expensive disappointment. Luxury that leaks. Beneath sculpted metal panels and dazzling LED lighting lies machinery riddled with mechanical misfires, design oversights, and reliability nightmares that transform premium ownership into full-time maintenance jobs. The 2.0-liter turbocharged engine should represent a masterpiece of German engineering, balancing performance with efficiency. In practice, it gulps oil like a high-mileage beater. Owners report needing to top off oil weekly just to prevent low-pressure warnings. Let oil levels drop and engine wear accelerates dramatically, sometimes resulting in complete engine failure outside warranty coverage. The positive crankcase ventilation (PCV) system, essential for emissions and pressure regulation, is almost guaranteed to fail early, wreaking havoc on performance and causing acceleration delays, engine sputtering, and idle surges that make luxury driving feel like operating a decades-old economy car. Technology offers no relief from mechanical problems. Infotainment screens freeze during navigation. Climate controls glitch into full heat mode during summer. Parking sensors cry wolf with false alerts. Rear cameras flicker or fail altogether, transforming modern convenience into frustrating inconsistency. When problems couldn't possibly escalate further, Audi adds water leak disasters. Pooled moisture in footwells and cargo areas resulting in mildew, rust, and electronic failure that create both health concerns and expensive repairs. Even safety systems designed to protect occupants suffer from sensor errors, making advanced technology feel dangerous rather than protective. Resale value, once a badge of Audi success, continues slipping as repair costs rise and parts availability creates week-long wait times for basic components. For a brand that markets sophistication and refinement, the ownership reality represents an expensive lesson in style over substance. Mitsubishi, when cheap costs you more. The Mitsubishi Mirage wasn't discontinued with fanfare. It was quietly erased from the lineup, a whisper of regret buried beneath dealer inventory that wouldn't move regardless of incentives. This subcompact disaster represents vehicles that lure buyers with too good to be true prices, then punish them for every mile driven. The false economy. The heart of the Mirage's misery is its unrefined three-cylinder engine that groans under acceleration, hesitates during power demands, and vibrates so violently at idle that passengers mistake normal operation for mechanical faults. Combine that with anemic acceleration and you're not driving a car. You're pleading with components to keep up with traffic. Drivers consistently describe the experience as feeling like the vehicle wants to stall out of embarrassment. That's not transportation. That's automotive torment disguised as budget mobility. Reliability exists on paper through marketing claims, but reality tells different stories. Critical sensors fail without warning throughout vehicle systems, especially acceleration and airbag sensors that drivers never want to question during emergencies. Some owners report doors that refuse to latch properly after minimal use, with hinges loosening far sooner than expected. Interior conditions don't improve experiences. Cabins feel like forgotten economy car designs from 2005, featuring plastic panels so thin you can flex them with knee pressure. Upholstery quality is so poor it begins fraying after just a few hot summers, transforming budget transportation into embarrassing decay. Crash test scores achieved miserable ratings, with rear passenger safety performing especially poorly during impact evaluations, a concerning reality for a vehicle often marketed to budget-conscious families. Even supposedly attractive low-maintenance costs become irrelevant when owners visit repair shops more frequently than changing oil. The Mirage disappeared from American markets in late 2024 without redesign, replacement, or farewell. It simply vanished like an automotive mistake that Mitsubishi hoped consumers would forget. A fitting end for a vehicle that represented false economy at every level. Fiat, the jelly bean on stilts. The Fiat 500L represents what happens when design departments win arguments over engineering teams focused on functionality. Quirky appearance? Absolutely. Memorable styling? Certainly. Actually functional as daily transportation, not even close to acceptable standards. Style over substance. Fiat attempted to capitalize on crossover marketplace popularity by stretching their iconic city car into something vaguely resembling SUV proportions. What they constructed became one of the most forgettable automotive flops in modern history. A vehicle promising European sophistication but delivering mechanical disappointment. Models produced between 2014 and 2017 faced recurring issues that made ownership feel more like participating in failed prototype testing than driving finished production vehicles. Engine stalling represented one of the most frequently reported disasters. We're not discussing occasional hesitation, we're describing power plants that die completely at traffic intersections and fail to restart without multiple desperate attempts. This transforms routine driving into anxiety-inducing experiences where traffic lights become mechanical roulette games. Transmission meltdowns followed engine problems with depressing predictability. Owners report sudden gear slipping, alarming grinding noises, and dangerous shifting delays that make highway merging feel like playing chicken with traffic. Fiat's dual-clutch system, once marketed for efficiency advantages, became notorious for unreliability and jerky behavior that destroyed driving confidence. Safety recalls followed manufacturing problems like clockwork, suggesting systematic quality control failures rather than isolated incidents. Airbag systems that failed to deploy during crashes, fuel leaks that posed fire risks, and suspension defects that transformed road imperfections into structural tests all plagued ownership experiences. When vehicles weren't actively falling apart, they depreciated faster than buyers could pay off financing agreements. Some owners reported losing more than 50% of vehicle values within 3 years. Financial disasters that transform affordable transportation into expensive mistakes. Even routine city driving felt laborious, as if vehicles were trying to escape their own flawed designs rather than provide comfortable transportation. Buick. Comfortably unreliable. From external appearances, the Buick Encore seems perfectly suited for modern life. Small footprint, decent mileage, smooth ride, and understated presence that Buick built its brand around. However, opening the hood or reading owner forums reveals uncomfortable truths that contradict marketing promises. The luxury illusion. The Encore, particularly from 2015 onward, suffers from wide-ranging mechanical failures affecting different systems seemingly at random. One week, the turbocharged engine struggles to accelerate on highway inclines. The next, air conditioning stops working during peak summer heat, transforming comfortable transportation into sweaty discomfort. Electrical system problems add frustration layers to ownership experiences. Dashboard error messages appear without corresponding mechanical problems. Infotainment systems lock up during operation, losing navigation and communication functions when drivers need them most. Rear camera displays glitch or fail completely, making parking more difficult than older vehicles without camera assistance. These technology failures make vehicles feel more like unfinished beta tests than completed products ready for consumer purchase. Airbag recalls, seatbelt tensioner failures, and brake issues have earned the Encore unwanted federal attention, raising serious questions about safety reliability in a brand that markets peace of mind. The turbocharged engine, despite marketing promises of enhanced performance, feels sluggish under real-world conditions. Attempting to merge onto busy highways or pass slower vehicles quickly reveals that advertising claims exceed mechanical reality. The power plant provides more marketing bark than actual performance bite. Interior technology represents another persistent frustration source. The infotainment system, already outdated by 2020 standards, becomes increasingly problematic with poor responsiveness and compatibility issues affecting smartphone integration, making the vehicle feel older with each passing model year. While the Encore boasts decent cargo room for its size, that benefit gets overshadowed by reliability concerns that make long-term ownership feel risky. Resale values rank among the lowest in the compact crossover class, primarily because informed buyers understand what this vehicle represents, a short-term solution that becomes a long-term regret. Dodge. Speed with a price. The Dodge Durango accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds. Impressive until repair bills accumulate even faster. What Dodge marketed as a muscular family hauler has become a ticking financial bomb that systematically explodes ownership budgets over time. Muscle car problems. Family SUV prices. Real-world fuel economy hovers around 15 miles per gallon, making daily driving expensive regardless of gasoline prices. Combined with reliability that deteriorates year after year, ownership costs accumulate as quickly as acceleration capabilities suggest. Engine failures, exhaust manifold cracks, and persistent electronic faults easily rack up $5,000 to $7,000 in repairs before hitting 60,000 miles. Maintenance costs that contradict the vehicle's family-friendly marketing and price positioning. Interior quality issues don't stop at mechanical problems. Cabin appointments are dominated by hard plastics that feel cheap despite premium pricing. Aging technology makes infotainment systems feel several model years behind current standards. While build quality fails to match rivals in similar price categories, vehicles often stretching beyond $50,000 fully optioned lack the finish and refinement consumers expect from significant investments. Safety performance adds additional concerns. Crash test scores remain middling compared to newer competitors, while key driver assistance features are locked behind expensive packages or not offered at all, compromising family protection in a vehicle marketed for family transportation. What makes these shortcomings particularly frustrating is the specific image Dodge cultivates: tough, raw, unfiltered American muscle power. This narrative sells effectively in advertising campaigns, but real-world ownership reveals different, less appealing realities. Worn suspension components that require premature replacement, brake systems that experience premature wear, and drivetrain vibrations that suggest fundamental engineering problems. Even previously loyal Dodge enthusiasts have begun questioning whether performance alone justifies this much mechanical compromise and financial risk. As dealership incentives dry up and resale values fall, the Durango's true cost becomes harder to ignore. It may look like a performance bargain, but long-term it's more of a financial trap. Rivian, the $40,000 fender bender. Rivian promised to revolutionize pickup truck transportation and delivered one of the most unpredictable, expensive ownership experiences currently available in the automotive marketplace: the electric repair nightmare. The R1T electric pickup stunned early adopters with bold design, cutting-edge technology, and silent performance that suggested a new era of sustainable transportation. However, behind launch marketing came harsh financial reality. One low-speed parking lot collision, just a minor dent and panel replacement, led to a jaw-dropping repair estimate exceeding $40,000. This wasn't exceptional timing affecting one unlucky customer. It represents a consistently repeating pattern documented by Rivian owners nationwide who discovered that even minor accident damage creates financially catastrophic repair situations. The R1T's design prioritizes innovation over practical serviceability. Body panels are structurally integrated with load-bearing elements, making simple cosmetic repairs require extensive disassembly. Battery pack placement beneath passenger cabins complicates even routine maintenance, while specialized components demand factory-trained technicians and proprietary diagnostic equipment. Most traditional repair shops refuse to work on Rivian vehicles, lacking proper training, specialized tools, and parts access. Rivian's own service network remains limited and still scaling, with insufficient certified centers to support growing customer populations. Parts delivery delays and stretched customer service teams transform what traditionally required days in shops into months-long nightmares for simple component replacements. Even without accident damage, daily reliability remains frustratingly inconsistent. The 2022 model year received harsh criticism in owner surveys for software instability affecting basic functions, sensor errors triggering false alerts, and complete system shutdowns occurring without warning. Battery drain issues plague operation, phantom warning messages create anxiety, and infotainment glitches continue disrupting routine experiences. Owners expected refinement and reliability from expensive electric vehicles positioned as premium solutions. Instead, they received rushed production quality, reflecting startup companies chasing aggressive scaling targets rather than prioritizing customer satisfaction. Maintenance costs remain unpredictable, making ownership budgeting nearly impossible. Some escape with minimal expenses, while others face significant out-of-pocket repairs due to inconsistent warranty policies and coverage disputes. Land Rover, the luxury time bomb. Between 2017 and 2020, Land Rover Discovery models ranked among the most unreliable vehicles in North America. More than 24,000 owners reported mechanical failures, electronic meltdowns, and warranty nightmares that transformed luxury ownership into expensive crisis management. Prestige and problems. The Land Rover Discovery certainly looks like automotive success. Carefully sculpted panels, premium paint, and commanding stance exude confidence that luxury buyers expect from prestigious British heritage. However, beneath that meticulously crafted facade lies one of the most fundamentally broken ownership experiences money can buy. Start with the air suspension system, a signature feature supposed to provide adjustable ride height and superior comfort. In reality, this complex system often collapses completely within the first few years, leaving expensive vehicles tilted at awkward angles, sagging noticeably, or completely undrivable until costly repairs restore basic functionality. Drivetrain problems add mechanical insult to suspension injuries. Transfer case seizures occur without warning. Axle noise develops, suggesting imminent failure. Transmission systems produce lurching behaviors that can't be corrected without disassembling significant powertrain portions. Repairs easily costing more than entire budget vehicles. For luxury vehicles regularly selling above $60,000 new, fundamental engineering feels shockingly fragile. Electronic systems prove no more reliable reliable than mechanical components. Infotainment systems frequently freeze during operation, reset randomly, or lock drivers out from basic functions. Keyless entry systems fail regularly. Climate control systems develop bugs, making passenger compartments uncomfortable. Digital dashboard displays experience complete blackouts, eliminating access to critical vehicle information, adding traditional British automotive frustrations to modern electronic problems. Roof leaks allow water intrusion, damaging interior components. Body panel misalignment creates visual quality issues inappropriate for luxury pricing. Brake system problems affect both safety and performance, creating additional concerns about vehicle dependability. The combination of mechanical, electronic, and quality control problems creates vehicles requiring constant owner surveillance just to maintain basic operation. This isn't worry-free luxury ownership that buyers expect from premium heritage brands. Somehow, Land Rover continues successfully marketing aspirational illusions. Customers remain seduced by prestigious badge recognition and sophisticated campaigns cultivating images of elite capability. What they consistently fail to realize until after purchase is that these expensive vehicles often spend significantly more time in service facilities than providing reliable transportation. The implications of these brand failures extend far beyond individual vehicle problems to threaten entire manufacturing legacies built over decades. The financial stakes couldn't be higher, both for companies facing extinction and consumers potentially trapped with orphaned vehicles. For manufacturers, the market rejection reflected in these reliability disasters creates existential questions about survival. Companies like Jaguar have watched sales collapse by over 80% from previous peaks, raising serious concerns about whether they can maintain viable operations with such dramatically reduced volume. Others like Mitsubishi have already begun quietly exiting segments or entire markets as financial pressures mount. Dealers face equally severe consequences as warranty claims overwhelm service departments while new inventory sits unsold on lots. The financial burden of floor plan financing, the loans dealers use to purchase inventory from manufacturers, becomes crushing when vehicles remain unsold for months. This pressure has already forced hundreds of dealerships to close nationwide, with industry analysts predicting another 10 to 15% reduction in retail outlets over the next 24 months. For consumers, the stakes are equally severe. Owners of these problematic brands face rapid depreciation that creates negative equity situations, owing more on loans than vehicles are worth. This financial trap prevents trading or selling without significant losses, effectively locking owners into deteriorating vehicles with mounting repair costs. Those considering purchasing these brands face even more complex calculations. Beyond initial cost and typical ownership expenses, they must consider potential repair bills that can exceed $10,000 annually for luxury models like Land Rover and Jaguar. The depreciation curve for these vehicles resembles financial freefall rather than gradual decline, creating total cost of ownership that dwarfs more reliable alternatives. Perhaps most concerning is what happens when brands actually disappear. Orphaned vehicle owners face parts availability nightmares, service expertise that evaporates, and resale values that collapse to salvage levels regardless of condition. What began as exciting new car ownership ends as expensive lessons in automotive archaeology. What makes these brand failures particularly revealing is how they expose the gap between marketing promises and engineering reality in today's automotive marketplace. Manufacturers spend billions cultivating images of reliability, performance, and value while delivering vehicles that systematically betray those very qualities. Even more telling is how these problems cut across price points and market segments. From budget options like the Mitsubishi Mirage to six-figure luxury vehicles like the Land Rover Discovery, fundamental quality issues plague vehicles regardless of their positioning. The common thread isn't price, but corporate culture that prioritizes short-term profits over long-term reputation. Perhaps most surprising is how consumer information sources often fail to capture these reliability disasters until it's too late. Professional reviews focus on initial impressions during brief testing periods, while early reliability data may not reflect problems that emerge after several years of ownership. By the time comprehensive reliability statistics become available, many consumers have already purchased problematic vehicles based on outdated or incomplete information. The industry's push toward technology has accelerated rather than solved these problems. Features that sound impressive in marketing materials, touchscreens, digital dashboards, complex driver assistance systems often become primary failure points that transform modern vehicles into technological headaches. Simplicity and durability have been sacrificed for complexity and features that frequently disappoint in real-world use. For informed consumers, these brand failures create both warnings and opportunities. The market rejection of problematic manufacturers has created unprecedented discounting on new inventory, potentially creating value for buyers willing to accept higher long-term risks. Meanwhile, brands that maintained engineering integrity, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, command premium prices that reflect their superior reliability record and lower lifetime ownership costs. Iconic car brands that once ruled American roads are now fighting for survival. Behind their glossy commercials and desperate dealer incentives lies the brutal truth. Several major manufacturers are on the brink of extinction due to catastrophic reliability issues, financial mismanagement, and corporate denial. Nissan's transformation from reliable Japanese stalwart to transmission failure specialist highlights how quickly brands can collapse when engineering integrity is compromised. Their CVT transmission disasters have turned models like the Rogue and Altima into reliability nightmares that strand owners and drain bank accounts through premature failures. Jaguar has elevated unreliability to an art form, with vehicles like the F-Pace suffering problems so severe that owners report interiors literally melting in summer heat. With repair costs averaging $13,000 over 5 years and global sales collapsing by 82%, the brand's future looks increasingly uncertain despite its prestigious heritage. Jeep continues trading on nostalgia while delivering vehicles plagued by the infamous death wobble, a steering defect so dangerous it triggered 5 federal investigations and left thousands of owners afraid to drive at highway speeds. For a brand built on rugged reliability, the reality that only 25% of Wrangler owners expect their vehicles to reach 200,000 miles represents a devastating indictment. Volkswagen, Audi, Buick, and Dodge each demonstrate how engineering shortcuts and quality compromises can destroy consumer trust built over decades. From oil-guzzling engines to electrical systems that fail with alarming regularity, these brands have transformed ownership from pride to punishment. Newcomers like Rivian prove that even cutting-edge technology can't overcome fundamental design flaws, with minor fender benders generating $40,000 repair bills that shock owners and insurance companies alike. Meanwhile, Land Rover continues charging premium prices for vehicles that spend more time in service departments than on roads, with air suspension failures and electronic meltdowns transforming luxury into liability. For consumers, the message couldn't be clearer. Brand heritage and marketing promises provide no protection against engineering reality. The vehicles consumers choose today will either provide years of reliable service or become expensive lessons in manufacturer betrayal. By understanding which brands are on the brink of extinction and why, informed buyers can avoid becoming casualties in the industry's ongoing reliability crisis. Which of these brands have you personally dealt with? Did the problem start early, or did they sneak up after the warranty ran out? Drop your story in the comments and let others know what to avoid in 2025. If this research helped you dodge a financial bullet, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep exposing the truth automakers don't want you to know.